So, are we ready for our next presenter? Yeah. So, now, for those of you who've been following us on social media, you've been watching his videos, right? Yeah, I know, I feel it. So guess what? You probably know enough about him already, and there's really no need for a long introduction. And when I asked him, how do you want to be introduced? He's like, he's not into the long resume read, And if there's one thing that I know he would like everybody to know is that no journalist has interviewed more billionaires than he has. So he has the knowledge, he has the experience, he is the quintessential Jamaican, as he says. He has he said 10 jobs on the video, I think a while ago. He says it's like up to 13 jobs. And he has flown here all the way from London, England, just for JMMB and for you guys to share with you how to build wealth. He is a husband to Jill. Hi, Jill. Thank you so much for supporting us. I'm waving at the camera. She's not here. Nobody's looking. She couldn't come, right? Because she's taking care, of course, of their two beautiful sons, Kingston and Liam. And what can I say? He is someone who believes in the greatness of Jamaica, giving back to Jamaica. Right now, he's working to build the first of what he plans to build, 5 schools in Jamaica. The first one he's building in Lioneltown, Clarendon, and there are Clarendonians in the house. All right. So, he's just an awesome person, and everything you see online, believe me, after we've interacted with him since he's gotten here yesterday, is exactly who he is. And we're so grateful that he's come to be here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give a warm, big up welcome to Paul Brunson.
I see you. Hold on. It's on. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All right. What's up, Kingston? What's up? And here's the thing. This side was a whole lot louder than this side. A whole lot louder. Like this side was all, no, you late now. You late. So the entire presentation is like this. So y'all, guess what? You want another shot? Oh, you want another shot. All right, hold on real quick. DJ Chess, bring it back. Where you at? Wait, hold on, DJ Chess. Hold on. Y'all fell asleep. You can get shut down. Oh, you gave him a shot. Oh, I see. Okay. DJ Jess. Okay, hold on. Okay, ready? Wait, hold on. Wait. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from London Heathrow, Paul C. Brunson. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh my God. That's it, I'm done.
Nobody cannot cross it.
Y'all still won now. How's everyone? Good? All right, what are we talking about? Elevate. Someone say love? No, look. Okay. So, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship and business, but you know I'm a matchmaker also. So, real quick question. How many single men Well, I didn't even say anything yet. How many single men are in the audience right now? All right, now, who is the boldest, the baddest, the sexiest? I like that. I like that. The biggest, boldest, baddest, sexiest single man. Okay. Hold on real quick. We got one to represent this side. Who's the biggest, boldest, baddest, sexiest man on this side? See? And that's the problem with dating right there. No, so all right, so who? Oh, okay, I see you. Okay, what's your name, brother? Locks. Damn, that's a good one. That's bold. What's your name, brother? Rashad. I like this. Locks, Rashad, come on stage real quick.
I be feeling like the man when I walk through.
All right, round of applause for him.
I got all these hoes staring when I walk through.
Round of applause. Here you go. All right. All right, so. Okay, all right, so here's the thing. Man, I love Locks already. He's like, give me a hug. Give me a hug. So look, we're talking about business, but I figured let's just get the relationship stuff out, because there was a lot of sexual pent-up energy in the room. So I figured let's just get it out right now, okay? So now, here's one thing that a lot of guys don't know about relationships, or a lot of guys don't know about women, is that sexual attraction is very important, isn't it? It's very important. Now, it takes men about 3 seconds to be able to look at a woman and determine if he is sexually attracted to her. About 3 seconds, right? It takes a woman about 0.0001 second to determine. But here's the biggest problem. Yes, women can determine sexual attractiveness faster. But here's the problem. We often get swayed by these photos, these fake images on Instagram, right? But sexual attraction is not just about the look. It's about how someone flows. It's about the movement. Yes, you know what I'm saying? The walk. Yes, the swagger, you know? This is very important. So, these two are great looking men, but I want to know if they're really sexy, right, ladies? So Rashad, come here real quick. Real quick. Stay right here, right? I want to see how sexy Rashad is real quick. Rashad, all I want you to do is real simple, fellas. All you have to do is walk down here and then walk back. Watch, I'll show you. Look, all I want you to do is just, hey, what's up? Yeah. Walk down here, however you walk, turn around, and then walk back. It's real quick, okay? Ready? Okay. Now, DJ Chess, give him something to walk to. There you go. There you go, Rashad. Oh. Okay. See? See? You see? Things change real quick. Y'all were like, I don't know about Rashad. Hold on. Hold up. Okay. That was very nice. But my man Locks, look at this. He's focused. So you know the drill. DJ Jess, give him something to walk to. Let's see. Yes. Oh! Oh! Oh man, that was nice.
Stop it, calm down, calm down, calm down.
Oh wow, she said she's married. He said, I don't care. No, I'm saying. So, but you see that? It's about the movement, the flow. I love how she was married, but she still got up. She was like, yeah, let's do this. So just remember, it's about the movement. And you now know that there's 2 single men in here, and they're ready to mingle, right? All right, round of applause for them. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. All right, let's get to work on some business, can we? Did we get the sexual energy out? Did we? It was nice? Okay, all right, this is good, this is good. Okay, so, what am I talking about? Elevate. Elevate what? Your life, okay? So you can see that I like participation, and I like pushback. So here's how we're gonna do it. If there's anything I say that you really feel like I need to stop and address your question because you can't move on unless I address it, then say, Paul, stop, please, okay? Otherwise, wait until the end and we'll do some Q&A, all right? If there's anything I say that you just adamantly disagree with, don't say anything. No, I want you to hold that and wait until the end. It will address it. I love pushback, okay? I love pushback. It makes us smarter, it makes us sharper, all right? So now, before I get going talking about wealth, I want to say something because I was asked a question earlier this morning when we did a video, and the question was, why do you believe so much in the Jamaican people? Because y'all, I rep Jamaica hard, right? I'm doing this show in the UK, and I had to fight to put a Jamaican flag on my desk, right? So I rep it hard, but the question is why do I rep it so hard? And I think that I may know something that not everybody in this room knows, and I want to share it with you. So in the last 5 months, I've been to 5 different countries. The UK, Spain, France, Italy, and Greece. And every time I go to another country, what I love to do more than anything is talk to the cab drivers. Yes. You know why I like to talk to cab drivers? They know everything. They know everything. They know the politics. They know the gossip. They know everything. And on top of it, they know everyone from every country. Everyone from every country. And not only do they know everyone from every country, but they know the real people. You know how I know they know the real people? Because how you act towards someone when things are good is just whatever. But how you act towards someone in times of adversity, in times of real stress, that's how you know the real character, right? It's how you know the real character. Note for relationships. Okay? So cab drivers deal with people in the worst situations. They're stressed, they're about to miss their flight, right? They got in late, their hotel is closed, they're stressed. So they deal with people all around the world in the most adverse situations. And every time I get in a cab, every time, and I want to do a documentary on this, all right? I want to do a documentary on this, is I ask them at least about 4 countries. I ask them about or people, right? I ask them about Americans, Brits, Chinese, and Jamaicans. Uh-oh. Now, when I ask the cab drivers in all these countries about Americans, what do you think they say? Rushing, rude. They actually say they're know-it-alls. They think they know it all, but they don't know nothing. They don't know anything. And on top of it, they say, and they always ask me where the drugs are. Yes, that's the Americans. Now, when I ask them about the British, what do they say about the British? Sarcastic. They say they act polite, but they're very rude. They don't think I understand, but they're cursing me out in the back seat, right? When I ask them about the Chinese, what do they tell me? Yeah, they do say, I don't understand what they're saying. But they say they never trust me. They say that they'll say, go to the hotel, and the cab driver has been living there for 30 years. They'll still pull out their phone in the back seat and pull up Google Maps. Oh no, make a left. Right? There's not a lot of trust. So I get all this negative, and then I get to the Jamaicans. Then I get to the Jamaicans. And what do you think they say about the Jamaicans? They're interactive, what? They ask questions, what? They're loud. She was like, they're loud. I heard you. No. What do they say? I'm sorry? They love us. Who said they're friendly? Oh my goodness. They say Jamaicans. They start smiling. They say, I love Jamaicans. They always have a smile. They're always chatty. They always have something positive to say. I love Jamaicans.
Well easy.
DJ Jess is single, by the way. He said, no, that's not what I heard. No. They say this about Jamaicans in every country I go to. So you think about that. Do you think it could be possible, just for a second, do you think it could be possible that Jamaicans are the most liked people in the world? Do you believe that? Because guess what? I believe that. Think about that for a second. Really think about that. Because then you can begin to think about the power that you have. Are Jamaicans the most liked people in the world? Think about that. If you believe the answer is yes, then you have power that no one else has. Think about that. And then you move it further. And then you begin to think about, when you think about sports in the world, who dominates? Jamaicans. When you think about music, who has dominated for decades? Jamaicans. When you think about beauty, who has dominated for decades? Jamaicans. When you think about the first major industry, first billion-dollar industry, bananas, 1800s, who dominated that? Jamaicans. You think about who created social entrepreneurship. Who? Marcus Garvey, who was Jamaican. Yo, think about that for a second. Then you begin to think about, is it possible that this small island, 2.9 million people, has had one of the biggest influences in the world? Is it possible? Yes. So think about this. It's possible that Jamaica has had the biggest impact in the history of the world. On a per capita basis, definitely. Is it possible that Jamaicans, there you go, is it possible that Jamaicans are the most liked? Is it possible that Jamaicans have the strongest brand? If you believe that, then you have real power. And that's where it begins. You have to believe that first. And that is what leads us into talking about how you can now create wealth. Because
Because first you have to believe in your greatness in order to create greatness in your life. All right? So first it starts with that belief. Now, let's move into, well, what is wealth? What is wealth? Well, here's what wealth is not. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. Wealth is not health. Uh-oh. I heard a that's right, and I heard a this boy doesn't know what he's talking about. Health is not wealth. This, I think, is the biggest myth, biggest misnomer. Now, is health important? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely important. But health is what allows you to optimize your wealth. Health is what allows you to grow your wealth. But health is not wealth. And here's how I like to break it down. Could you stand up for me, please? You're sitting front row, so I'm going to pick on you guys. So your name is?
Cortia.
Cortia. Now, Cortia, what is your favorite car in the world? If you could have any car, what would it be?
Well, I have it. It's a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So it's a Mercedes-Benz. What color is the interior?
Black.
What's the exterior?
Red.
Red. Okay, so I love it. So that Mercedes-Benz, right? If you get on a road, and a lot of these roads in Jamaica are messed up. I'm just saying, right? Greatest country in the world, but the roads are kind of messed up. So if you get on a bumpy, short road, can you enjoy your Benz?
No.
No, you can't. This is how I view health and wealth. You see, the car is wealth. The road is health. So if you are on a nice, smooth, paved road with no tolls, you know what I mean, then you can enjoy your ride a little bit better. You can enjoy the car, okay? You see what I mean? All right, so thank you. So that's how I view health and wealth. So that's the reason why I say there's a difference. But now the question is, well, what is wealth? Somebody tell me. Somebody stand up, be bold, and tell me, how do you define wealth? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how you can create wealth. How can you create, right, wealth? So what is wealth? I'm sorry, you can stand up. Being comfortable with what you have. Round of applause if you like that. That's exactly what the reaction was. So, what do you all think wealth is? What is wealth?
There's a hand over here to the
Wait, stand up, please. What's wealth?
Hold on. Let me come with the mic. I want everybody to hear.
Hello, my mouth kind of loud still, but financial freedom.
Financial freedom.
And independence.
And independence. Financial freedom and independence. Round of applause if you like that.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all are a tough crowd. Okay, what else? How do you define wealth?
Good evening, everyone. Wealth for me is providing for my generations to come. So I'll put in the work, and my generation will follow and will thrive from my wealth.
Oh.
Slap boy.
All right, so we like that. Okay, does anyone have a completely different definition? Two. Okay, let's do these two. Can we get here? Oh, wow, you're quick. That Jamaican speed, goodness gracious. How do you define wealth?
Wealth for me is acquiring assets and having those assets work for you so that you don't have to really work. That's what wealth is for me.
Okay, so having the assets so you don't have to work. Okay.
So it's not really to work hard, but having your money work for you or having your assets work for you.
Okay, do we like that? All right, and there's one more in the blue here. One more definition. Here we go. One more. Let's see if we like this one.
Okay.
pretty simple. I pretty much was going to say what she said, employing your money and having your money work for you. But then one other thing I'd want to say is that wealth is time and having time.
Oh, that's deep. We like that? So now, here's my definition of wealth. And this is not, you can't Google this. This is just my personal definition. And I will say, this is my definition from conducting dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of interviews with people who I consider to be the wealthiest people in the world. And I actually heard it in two different answers. I think wealth is three things. It's having enough money, it's having enough time and control of your time, and it's having enough impact, talking about future generations. That, in my opinion, is the definition of wealth. Having enough money, having enough autonomy and control of your time, and having enough impact. If you have those, then you have wealth, right? Now, can you have one of those and still have wealth? Can you have just complete control over your time, but not have enough money and not have enough impact and be wealthy? People are like, no, Paul, that's being unemployed. But can you have enough impact, not enough money, and not enough control of your time? Is that wealth? Okay. Can you have enough money and not enough time and not enough impact? Is that wealth? Some people are like, man, if I had $1 billion in my pocket, I'm good. So here's what I think. What I think is that they're all interrelated. And if you have enough time, control of your time, then you can build enough impact and you could build enough money. You can create that. If you have enough impact, but not enough money and not enough time, you could build into that. If you have enough money, but not enough impact and not enough control of your time, you could build into that. What's an example? Let me give you quick examples. Anybody heard of Barack Obama? All right. Was Barack Obama, did he have a lot of money before he became president? No. When he became president, did he have a lot of money? No. Did he have a lot of control over his time? Absolutely not. Did he have a lot of impact? Exceptional impact. Anybody know what Barack Obama's net worth is right now? It's about $40 million. $40 million. And that doesn't include Michelle. Right? And Michelle is crushing it right now. A matter of fact, they expect Michelle's net worth to be about 30 million after this new book, right? So he used the impact to create the time and create the money. So I think that if you have enough, an overabundance of one, you get the rest. But here's where I want to focus on today. I want to focus on money. Can we do that? Let's just talk money real quick. Okay, let's talk money. How do you create money, an overabundance of money? Well, first, let's be strategic about this. Where does money come from? So when you think, please show me the tree. Do you know where the tree is? No, you can't just say trees. Where's the tree? Where's it at? You were joking? Oh, I thought it came from trees. I was like, show me that tree. I will climb it, right? So where does money come from? There are three places. If you look at the wealthiest people in the world, people who have net worths of, let's say, over $1 million US, where does money come from? It comes from one of three places. Number one is they inherit the money. Daddy was rich. Mommy was rich. Right? Rashad? Sean. Oh, Sean. Oh, Rashawn. Rashawn is rich. And so we marry Rashawn and we become rich, right? Through marriage. Or we have a little boy, a little girl. She grows up to be Serena and we're now rich, right? Inherit their wealth. 30 to 40% of the Forbes 400, these are the wealthiest Americans, have inherited their wealth. Think about that. 30 to 40%, they inherit it. What's number two? Where does wealth come from? Somebody say work. Yeah. But you know what number two is? Not in terms of percentages, but just number two on my list. They win it. Jesus! Praise Jesus, yes. Y'all know, raise your hand if you played the lottery within the last year. See? Everybody's lying in this room. You're all lying, right? But here's the thing, no. They win it. They win it. Maybe it's lottery, or maybe it's a lawsuit, but they win it. But you know what percentage of people win it? Less than 1%. Less than 1%. More people get it from trees. So what's the third category? Okay, so now, here's something that I want to change real quick. I want to change this real quick. The words we use are very powerful. And I noticed when I said, where does it come from? I heard a lot of people say they earn it. When you earn something, what does that mean? That means what? You have to work, but what else? That means it's given to you. When you earn it, somebody is bestowing it upon you. Forget that. Create it. Change the mindset. Change the mindset. You're not earning nothing. You are creating it. This is the third category. It's created. Wealth is created. 60 to 70% of wealth is created. It's created. So now, how do you create it? That's the question. So, for 5 years, I have been interviewing the wealthiest people. Interviewed Jamaicans like Michael Lee Chin. Interviewed people like, artists. Interviewed Oprah. Interviewed all these different people. And I've been trying to figure out, how did they create it? The people who have created it, how did they create it? And I've been thinking about a new book. And I want to share my thoughts, and I've never talked about this before. I want to share my thoughts on how I believe people create real wealth from all over the world. To me, it's about creating for yourself extraordinary skill and then putting that extraordinary skill, matching it with an extraordinary opportunity. Now think about this, what I'm saying. I'm saying that you cannot be wealthy, and here's where if you want to disagree with me, please disagree with me, all right? It's an open dialogue. I'm saying you cannot be wealthy, you cannot create your wealth unless you have an extraordinary skill. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Anybody disagree? Stand up. Now, please, if you can stand up, somebody give her a mic. This is going to be good. Let's debate it. Let's debate it. You cannot be wealthy unless you have an extraordinary skill. Please.
You can outsource the skill.
I'm sorry?
You can outsource the skill.
So if you outsource the skill, is that not a skill? Sit down, please. Anybody else want to disagree? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Please state your position of disagreement.
If that is true, what would you say is Kim Kardashian's skill?
Oh!
I'm not saying nothing, man. I'm not saying nothing.
All right? Okay. Okay, hold on. I say I'm in Kingston, hold on. I'm not messing around with you, okay? We're gonna fight, okay? Here. Now, that was a low blow. That was low. And you know I can't say nothing about this. But no, actually, real talk. I have thought about this. And I'm gonna say something that a lot of people will just disagree with, and a lot of people will just completely say, I've lost all respect for Paul. Kim Kardashian, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Lord Jesus. Kim Kardashian has extraordinary skill at content marketing. She has extraordinary skill at content marketing. Okay? Now, here's the thing. When you think, all right, listen. All right. When you think about Kim Kardashian and what she's been able to build, she's actually changed content marketing. Her family has changed how we use social. How many people say they're social media influencers? That was birthed through the Kardashians. You know? So here's what I say. Extraordinary skill, let's talk about what that means. Extraordinary skill means that if you take whatever skill that is, that you are in the top 1% in the world that does that. And here's what I'm saying. Here's my commitment to you. If you can pick any skill, anything, you could walk a catwalk, you could walk a dog, you could dance, you could sing, you could shoot a basketball, you can kick a football, you could do anything, any skill. You could talk, you could communicate, you could do anything. If you are in the top 1% in the world, you will create money, impact, and control of your time like you've never believed. This is the focus. The focus is you have to figure out the skill, the one thing that you could be better than anyone else in the world. Now, just like everyone, right? Every single one who is self-made. I'm talking about real wealth. They have figured out the skill that they can become better than anyone in the world. That's the focus. That should be your focus. If your focus is to build wealth, you have to figure out what is the one skill. Now, here's the beauty. The beauty is that a lot of people don't just take one skill. They look at 1, 2, and 3 and look at how those skills intersect. And where those skills intersect, that's where you own a lane. So let's talk about this real quick, okay? So, how do you do it? I think there's 5 steps to creating extraordinary skill. One is, what was that? No. So one is this. One is, what is the vision that you have for your life? This is a big question. Big question. What's the vision that you have for your life? In other words, what do you want to be known as? When you are no longer here, you're talking about legacy in the back. When you're no longer here, what do you want your legacy to be? The exercise I like to use is, I call it, very morbid, I call it the funeral exercise. You think about if you are laying in this casket right here, okay? Think if you're laying in a casket and all of your loved ones, your friends, your family, your sons and daughters, they stand up at the podium and they're talking about mom, they're talking about dad, they're talking about big brother, they're talking about sister. What are they saying about you? What do you want them to say about you? These are real questions. If you don't want to live a mediocre life, you need to ask yourself these real questions. What legacy do you want to leave? If you could begin to think about that, you could begin to do the work around, well, what is that skill? So when I did that, I thought to myself, damn, you know what? I want people to say, Paul helped me to live a better life, right? He helped me to change the person I am. That's what I want my legacy to be. That's truly what I want it to be. So that's the first step. You have to do that exercise. The second step is then you have to figure out who in the world is currently living similarly to how you want to live your life. So who exists in the world right now who is, yes, who is in the world who is living life like you want to live? Think about that, right? So, you know where's a great place to go? Quite honestly, social media. Everybody's lying on social media. Everybody's lying. You are lying on social media. That's not your life, right? But you could begin to get a glimpse of the impact that people are making. So when I did that research, I saw people like Oprah, who's changing the lives of others. I saw people like Richard Branson changing the lives of others. I saw people like Michael Lee Chin changing the life of others. And I said to myself, these are people who are living the life that I think I would like to have. It's very important to identify them because success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So that's the second step. You identify those people. The third step is you begin to look at, well, what are the commonalities among these people? What are the skills that they have? What are the things that they do that are extraordinary? What are the things that they do that are the best in the world, right? When I looked at that, I say, oh my gosh, they are extraordinary communicators. They're extraordinary visionaries, right? They're extraordinary strategists. You look at all the skills, and then the next step is you select just one skill. One skill that those people that you've identified share. One skill that you say to yourself, you know what? I could be just as good, if not better, than them at that skill. When I did that, when I looked at Michael Lee Chin and Richard Branson and Oprah, I said to myself, communication is an area that I want to focus on. That's an area that if I could become top 1% in the world, I will have
impact on autonomy and money like never before, right? So you look at that. And then there's the last step after you've identified the skill. And this is the hardest part. This is the part that I guarantee most people will never do. Then you have to change your life. Then you have to change your habits. And it's uncomfortable and it's difficult. No one likes to be uncomfortable and no one wants to be difficult. But you have to change your life so you can go out and get it. So how did I change my life? A lot of people that follow me on social know this. 3 years ago, about 4 years ago actually, I started waking up at 4 a.m. every morning. I got here last night from London. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. this morning. And you know what I did? I read first. I read first for an hour or an hour and a half, and then I went to exercise. But the point is that I've changed my life. I've changed my life and my habits because I said I want to be top 1%. I want to be
extraordinary when it comes to this lane of communication. So I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to dedicate myself to being extraordinary in this one category. So I changed my life there. You know what else I did? I love football and basketball. I love it. I played football growing up. I love it. Or American football, should I say. Right? I stopped watching it. I don't watch it anymore. I have no idea who was in the Super Bowl last year. That's real talk. I have no idea who was in the Super Bowl. I have no idea if we're even in football season anymore. I have no idea. You know why? You know why? It's a distraction. I don't have time for that. I'm trying to be great, right? I'm trying to leave that legacy for my great-grandkids that I've never seen, right? If you want to be exceptional, you have to step up to that level. Extraordinary means top 1%, not 25%, not 10%, top 1%. You have to believe it, and you have to go after it and get it. I started taking French lessons. Every week, I spend 4 hours taking French lessons. Bonjour. But why? 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 Because I want to be so effective in my communication, which is my skill, that I'm top 1%. Because I saw that Richard Branson and Oprah Winfrey and Michael Lee Chin, you see, they can't speak French. They can't.
Nobody can.
You know what I mean? And French, a lot of people say it's Mandarin Chinese. French is the fastest growing because of West Africa. So I'm going to one-up them. It's competitive. This is competitive sports, right? You know what I mean? So how can you be extraordinary? You have to think about that, and then you have to go after it. You have to reshape your life to go after that. So that's how you get the extraordinary skill, right? And that may take you 5 years. That may take you 10 years. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I think I'm probably top 15%. But I'm trying to get to top 1%. And if it takes me another 10 years, it doesn't matter. So that's the extraordinary skill. So now here's the big question. How do you get the opportunity? Because it's about the skill meeting the opportunity. You can have extraordinary skill, but if you don't have the opportunity, you don't get the money.
Nobody can cross it.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't get the money, you don't get the impact. How do you get the opportunity? How do you get the opportunity? Real quick, I was in Barcelona, Spain about 3 weeks ago. Y'all know Anthony Gaudi? All right, Gaudi, if you don't know, is one of the most important, prolific architects in the world. He's from that area, Catalan, right? He's from that area. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that when Gaudi was just 6, 7 years old, he was like, Mom, Dad, I like design. And he started design little things when he was 6, 7 years old. And then he went to a special school for design. And he trained and focused on design all the way up to him being 26 years old. He focused on design. That was it. Design, design, design. And then, when he was 26 years old, a company who saw his designs said, you know what? You're really good. I want you to design a glove case. And they took the glove case and they put it in the Paris World Fair of 1878. A glove case that displayed gloves. Anthony Gaudi designed that, okay? He was nobody at that time. That glove case won a silver medal. It won second place. And there was this guy named Eusebio Guel, very rich industrialist. He saw the glove case. He said, wow, I like that glove case. And he walked up to Gaudi and he said, can you design a wine cellar for me? And that turned into a mansion. And then he said, can you design a park? And then other wealthy people throughout Barcelona started asking Gaudi to design. And then 50 years later, he had designed all of Barcelona, became the most famous architect in the world. All of it. All of it. Now, Gaudi had extraordinary skill. He had extraordinary skill. He did everything that I just talked about in terms of building skill. But it met with the opportunity of meeting that guy, Guel. If he didn't meet Guel, he never would have been the Anthony Gaudi that we know. So how did he get that opportunity? Real quick, anybody heard of Oprah Winfrey? Now, did you know that Oprah Winfrey used to be an anchor in Baltimore, Maryland for a morning show? Nobody knew who Oprah was. And then she went from Baltimore to where? Chicago. Now, she was in Baltimore for 8 years. 8 years hosting a show that one year she was kicked off of. Then they moved her to Chicago. She started hosting a show in Chicago. The show that she started hosting went from last place to first place, but she was just this local Chicago anchor. Now, this is the moment that changed Oprah's life, and a lot of people don't talk about this. She was an anchor, and then she auditioned for The Color Purple. But do you know how she auditioned for The Color Purple? Nobody talks about that. She was an anchor, and Quincy Jones, who was a producer for The Color Purple, was in Chicago because Michael Jackson was getting sued. And Quincy Jones was in his hotel room. He walks out the shower, and he turns on the television, and he sees Oprah Winfrey. And he says, wow, she's really good. We should cast her or at least we should audition her. They called her up, she auditioned. She got the part. Now, 2 years later, she wins an Academy Award nomination, right? Everyone loves Oprah, but she still is a local anchor. And there's a guy named Roger King who comes to Oprah and says, I can get you out of the Chicago market. I could sell your show to markets all around the country. Let's partner. And they created the partnership, and then they changed the show to the Oprah Winfrey Show. Then she became syndicated across the United States, and that changed her life. But here's the question. How did Oprah get the extraordinary opportunity to meet Quincy Jones? How did she get the extraordinary opportunity to meet Roger King, who Oprah herself says changed her life? How did she get that extraordinary opportunity? Somebody tell me, what's the commonality between Oprah Winfrey's extraordinary opportunity meets extraordinary skill and Anthony Gowdy's? What's the commonality? I'm sorry? Put your skill on display. Everybody think about this real quick. We're all scared. We're all nervous. We're all embarrassed, especially when it's something that we're passionate about. But you will never get the opportunity. You'll never get the opportunity unless you put your skill on display. Now, there's even more similarities. It's not only about putting it on display, it's about putting it on display where you can compete with people who are also putting their skill on display. This is the commonality. Unless you could put your skill on display with people who are also competing to put their skill on display, you're not going to get extraordinary opportunity. Why? Because the people who are looking to invest, the Roger Kings of the world, the Eusebi Guels of the world, right? The rainmakers, the people who make happen. I know it's clean. I'm trying to say clean. Those people are looking for the people with extraordinary skill, and they look for the competition. So what does that mean? Real quick, real practical. Somebody stand up who believes they have extraordinary skill, but doesn't believe they know where to find extraordinary opportunity. One person. Okay. What's your extraordinary skill? Can we get a mic over there?
Communication.
Okay, communication. So real quick, if you're extraordinary, so here's the first question. Do you believe you're top 1% in the world in communication?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. I'm not going to say that you are or not, because I don't know you. But one of the most important things with skill is having what's called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means that you can assess where you are. Sometimes our ego takes us out, and we're like, we're Jamaican, come on. We're the best.
I feel we sit or tell them feel it.
Right? But sometimes you have to step back and say, am I truly top 1% or am I top 10%, right? So that's the first question. But say you're top 1%. Where can you put your display? YouTube. IGTV, Facebook Watch. Real quick. All right, I've got a story just for you. This is a great story. As a matter of fact, I see I'm at 15 minutes, so let me tell you the story. This is a great story on putting your skill on display, and then we'll see if we can at least get 3 questions, okay? You got a question? Okay, I got you. Now, 10, 15 years ago, I said I was going to become a matchmaker. Now, I had just graduated from business school, and I was embarrassed to say I was going to be a matchmaker. I was embarrassed. But I had spent a year practicing the art and developing the skill of matchmaking. I went back to school for social psychology, right? I thought I had the skill. There are not a lot of matchmakers in the world. There's only 350 full-time matchmakers. I thought I was top 1%. So what did I do? My wife said, Paul, why don't you do a YouTube show? I was like, but Jill, nobody's gonna watch it. Nobody's gonna watch it. She said, if you're as good as you say you are, put it up. I was like, psh, okay. So I put it up. The YouTube series was called Modern Day Matchmaker. Did anybody in here see that? Nobody. Oh, okay, thank you very much. Look at this, thank you, round of applause. Blessings to you, blessings to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I put that YouTube series up, and every week I would show up, and I would drop another video, and another video, and another video. And you know how many views I got? 3. 3. Come on now. It was about 9. All right, for real. It would get 9 views. 9 views. And I know my mother was watching at least 8 times. You know what I'm... But now I see you were watching. So that makes 8 plus 1, 9. Okay, there you go. But now, while I was doing that, I said, you know what? I'm still going to show up. At that point, a lot of people say, nah, I'm going to stop. I still showed up. Every week, I'm showing up. I'm showing up. Then, I get an inbox message from Facebook. It's a woman named Jennifer Duck. And she says, I'm with the Oprah Winfrey Network. I was like, what? Delete. I was like, who sends you Oprah Winfrey Network messages? It's one of my boys. It's David playing a trick on me. Right? Somebody playing a trick on me. Right? So I deleted it. But then I got another message. She was like, Paul, we've been watching your video, your YouTube video. We're one of the 9. And we want you to come in, come into to LA. Now, here's what was interesting. I didn't know why. I went to LA, right? And it's the Oprah Winfrey Network. So, if I'm at the Oprah Winfrey Network, I'm immediately looking for Oprah, right? I'm like, if I'm at the network, where's Oprah? Wait, hold on, real quick. And it even got to the point where, this is real talk, we went into the meeting room. It was a long, big table, right? And they sat me at one end of the table. And as soon as they sat me at one end of the table, I saw everybody walk in, and Oprah wasn't there. And I said, excuse me, is Oprah coming into the meeting? And they said, she's the CEO. No. And I said, but hold on for a second. And I was thinking to myself, the whole time, I'm not listening to them, but I'm thinking, oh my God, Oprah is in the same building that I am in. So at the right time, I said, excuse me, where is the restroom? And I left the room, and I was like, I know Oprah somewhere. I know Oprah. Hold on, real quick. Hold on, wait, hold on. Wait. Oprah's over here. Wait, hold on. Where's her office? And then security was like, no, come on back. So at that meeting, though, I didn't meet Oprah, but they offered me a job based on what? Solely off of the YouTube video. Solely off of a YouTube video that nobody watched. They said, well, 9 people, I'm sorry. And it was my mother and you. It wasn't nobody. This is terrible. But there were very few people that watched it. So now, I get this deal, but they say, and I'm like, well, when am I going to meet Oprah? They say, well, you're not going to meet her. She's busy. She's doing other things. So this show was being filmed in Georgia. And I'll never forget this, because when I grew up, the reason why I'm so obsessed with Oprah is because I watched the Oprah Winfrey Show. Yes. Now, what was the couch? What was the importance of her couch? Is that Oprah had a couch. And in the world, if you sat on the couch, what did that mean? It means you have arrived, baby. Right? You have arrived. Just like my man Rashawn walked the stage, right? That's what it meant. Now, real talk, I wanted to be on that couch more than anything. More than anything. I even remember the last year when the brothers from Morehouse were on, and all the graduates from Morehouse were coming on the stage. I said, I wish I went to Morehouse. If I went to Morehouse, I would have been on the show, right? But long story short, her show ended and I didn't get a seat on her couch. But I always knew, I was like, man, there's something, I got to get there. I got to get to Oprah's couch. So anyway, fast forward, it's a couple years later, I get this deal with the Oprah Winfrey Network. They say, Oprah, no, she won't be on set. But Paul, here's your office. And I had started my matchmaking company at that time. And so on set, while we were filming the show, I was working in my office. So one day, I'm working in my office, doing my thing. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I got this new client, Rashawn. Yeah, he knows how to walk. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's got some. All right, let's do this, all right? And I heard a... And I looked. Now, when I think back, I don't know if this actually happened. But here's what I recall. Hello! And the wind, right? You know what I mean? That's what I saw. I don't know if it happened like that, but that's what I saw. She came into the office and she said, Paul, I've heard so much about you. I heard so much. Uh-oh, it's a conspiracy. Bring me back, bring me back. They were like, all right, here we go. All right. Uh-oh. They're like, Paul, I heard so much about you, right? I know you've been asking everybody on set questions about me. A little obsessed. And here is the moment that completely changed my life. Completely changed my life forever. She said, Oprah said, I know you've been asking a lot of questions about me. Let's talk. So I was like, okay. So we look around. I was like, have a seat. And so then Oprah sits down, and I start asking her questions. And I realized something. That changed my life. Oprah was sitting on my couch. Think about that. It almost gives me chills when I think about that. And that proves to you, God has a dream for you. Bigger than you could ever imagine. But you gotta meet that dream. You have to believe. And part of that belief is stepping out. Step out there. Put the video out there. You have to compete. If you want that extraordinary opportunity, you have to compete. So real quick, in a wrap, first, it's about belief. Do you first believe in your greatness? You're Jamaican. In my opinion, some of the most powerful people in the world. Believe that. Then secondly, you have to identify, well, what do I really want out of this world? What do I want my legacy to be? Forget about the money and the car. What do I want my legacy to be? Answer that question. No matter how long it takes, answer that question. And then once you answer that question, start doing the work. Who else shows up in this world like I want to show up? Success leaves clues. Stalk them. Analyze them. Figure out what are the things that they are great at. What are the skills they have? Dissect it. And then pull out the one. Pull out the one skill that you say, based on my passions and my experience, I can compete. Here's one area where I can compete. And then reshape your life and go after learning that skill. Become obsessed on how you could become top 1% in the world at that skill. And then, once you feel like you've arrived, you know you're top 1%, then what do? You put your skill on display. And you compete. And you say, this is my skill. And it's okay if you lose. It's okay if you come in second place. Anthony Gowdy came in second place. Oprah, at some points, other people were beating her in the ratings. It's okay, Because as long as you are competing and you are showing that you have extraordinary skill, it will be recognized. I promise you, it will be recognized. And if you do all of those things, here's my commitment to you. You will have more control over your time, more money, and more impact than you have ever dreamed of. All right? So now, we have how many questions? All right, we got a couple. All right, so real quick, questions. We got questions. So question here. We got a mic.
We do have a Q&A segment coming up, Paul, so if you want to wrap up.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right. So now, here's what I want to do real quick since we have a second. Who is someone, let's get dirty. Who is someone who heard everything I just said, but is a bit unsure about how to go about creating that wealth for themselves? Who needs a little bit more? Okay, you need a little bit more? Okay, yes? Yes. She said, okay, stand up. Oh, yeah, see, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. I respect that. You were like, oh, I don't know, I'll stand up. If you want it, you stand up. You stand, this is what I want. Because here's the thing. You want it for who? Who do you want it for? Who do you want the wealth for? You want it for you. Why do you want it for you? That's your daughter? There you go. So now you move with intention. Always move with intention, okay? So at what point was it cloudy for you that I could clarify?
Just a quick one. In mentioning the 3 areas, including the time, impact, and the opportunity, you use the term enough.
Yes.
I wanted to get your definition of enough.
Okay, that's a great question. The reason why I said enough is there was a definition somewhere over here that I really liked. I think it was yours, where wealth is relative. You know, when I was about 15 years ago, I wanted to be a billionaire. But you know what? I don't want to be a billionaire anymore. I just don't. Enough for me is much less than $1 billion. So you have to define what is enough for you. What is enough? What is enough? What is enough control over your time? Not everybody could be completely autonomous. Some people actually need systems. Some people actually need to check in with other people, right? What is enough impact? Some of us want to change our town. There's other people like Martin Luther King that says, no, I want to change life. But he had to give his life for that. So you have to ask yourself, what is enough? You have to define that for yourself. It starts with here's what I noticed, is that unless you have a North Star in your life, you will live life aimlessly. And not only will you live it aimlessly, but you'll live life according to somebody else's plans. But if you have a specific intention, you have a specific goal, you have a specific North Star, no, this is the person I want to be over here. That way you can direct yourself to that. And that way you know, here's what I'm going to say no to. No, I can't do that because that's distracting me from going over here. Oh, no, I can't spend time with you because I got to go over here, right? Oh, no, you can't be my friend because you're not aligned with where I'm going over here. Because a lot of toxicity comes from friends, and a lot of it comes from family. And I'm not going to get too crazy on this, but I say you got to fire friends, and sometimes you got to fire family. Sometimes. Real talk. I have cousins I haven't talked to in a minute because they're not about what I'm about. They're just not about it, and they're distracting, and they're toxic, and I love them, and we share the same blood, but I don't have time for them. You know? So did that answer that? All right, cool. All right, let's get into questions then.